You are listening to the Lovable Losers Podcast. Guys, we are back to our regularly scheduled program. We got a good show for you today, and we got a special surprise for you. We have our Bexar County Regulator behind-the-scenes video coming out during this podcast. So listen in and stay tuned. This is going to be a fucking good one.
I said everything I had to say
You're
before.
gonna
The Lovable Losers Podcast. We say the most stupidest shit ever.
Oh my God. Come on, it's recording.
Yeah, okay, what? I said everything I had to say before the meeting.
You son of a
I'm
bitch.
burned out, dude. I used to I'm just kidding. I'm good. Hi,
All
hi.
the fucking brain cells are fucked.
All two of
Yeah,
them.
all fucking whatever the fuck is left out of it.
I know.
So, how's everybody doing?
Are you serious? We're not going to get on with this goddamn show.
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
Fucking dick, right?
Dude, look, man.
You know, always do a practice run before we get it right.
We never do a practice one. Not one.
Are you kidding? Well, first of all, someone doesn't even know how to work the equipment. I'm not going to say it by name, but we also call him a fucking idiot.
Oh, really?
What?
Really?
Sorry.
You fucking bitch.
Yeah, I think
Is that
it's
what
a
you're saying?
lovable loser,
Huh?
right?
I don't know about lovable.
Just the loser part.
Just the loser part. Well, go fuck yourself. Before we get into the formalities, though, we are going to say we are brought to you by the Bexar County Regulators. Bexar, B-E-X-A-R, where they sell you peace of mind. You know, if you want to buy a stun gun, just stun some guy in his dick just because he's pissing you off, we're the place to come to buy it. So come on by and stop at the BexarCountyRegulators.com. You can get any info from us there, and we have our contacts there. So take it away, Ray. You son of a bitch. Seriously? We're going to play this game?
What are we doing?
What do we do? What?
Did you go to the sponsors already? I'm sorry.
You son of a bitch.
I was waiting for the sponsors.
What sponsors?
Oh, never mind. That's my other show. The good one. All right. So anyway, so we talked about earlier this week that we're going to talk about apparently North Korea had a missile test that went wrong. However, after doing some research, found out that was back in April.
Of 2016, right?
No, 2017. But
Was
that was back in April when they had and it was a IRMB. That's an intermediate range ballistic missile, not the ICBMs. But they had it launch, and that's common to happen. It wasn't armed since it was a test, but it got about maybe 44 miles off the ground. Engine shot out. All it did was hit a farming community. No reported.
That's all it did.
Well,
it
yeah, because it no reported casualties. But then again, in a police state like that, you're not going to get that information coming out. But of course,
if we get anything coming out of that goddamn place.
But of course, what we have found out since then is they've had some successful tests, and of course that led to later this week of whose button's bigger on the desk. But I won't get into that.
Yeah, we all know whose button's bigger.
But researching that,
Yeah, go Trump, motherfuckers.
yeah, a bigger button. That's great.
And ours worked.
Yeah, yeah, he said that. But the big storm, dude, was actually people debating the difference between a missile and a rocket. There was actually I was looking on this thing, and there's all these comments on all these news sites I was reading about what a missile is, and so I looked up the definition. That way, we kind of get it straight. So this is done by a dictionary here. This is actually the Oxford Dictionary of English. So missile is defined as an object which is forcefully propelled at a target, either by hand or from a mechanical weapon. A rocket is a cylindrical projectile that can be propelled to a great height or distance by the combustion of its contents.
Yeah, you're going to have to dumb that down a little bit.
So to try to clear it up, a rocket is a device that carries its own supply of energy and reaction mass. The reaction mass is what pushes it against it. It doesn't push against air. So basically,
lower.
this is why a rocket can operate in the vacuum of outer space and not like a jet engine that needs air intake to jet.
Okay, now that
But
makes sense.
to make it more even clear, guys, is some types of missiles are using rocket engines and some do not. In general, a missile is considered a weapon, where the rocket has multiple uses to include weapon category, but it's also used to launch satellites into orbit. And don't forget, there's also the bomb category, which is a fused device to detonate under specified conditions.
Hey man, how accurate are those? Do you think they ever accidentally hit a satellite in space?
Well, what do you mean? I mean, well,
Does it go that high? How high do they go?
what, rockets?
Yeah, just like the IBCM, but
Intergalactic
yes.
ballistic missile.
Yes.
Well, that can go all the way from one country to another. It actually goes up to outer space.
That's what I'm saying.
Takes-
How high in
takes
space
about-
does it go?
I thought the Earth was flat.
Well, yeah, it's yeah, but we still got to break the atmosphere, which is only 2 miles up. I was kidding. But I mean, depending if you talk about the rocket or the missile. But of course, a missile is weaponized, so those are actually propelled by rocket engines. because you have to break at least the stratosphere, I believe, to go, because it actually goes up and out.
And it just drops down.
Yeah.
But so pretty much it's just the combustion part of it is just to push it up into outer space. And when
if it's a rocket engine, remember, because a rocket engine has to operate in a vacuum of space, whereas a jet engine is using air intakes, like a jet airplane actually uses air intakes, and it's using air to combust. Whereas a rocket engine contains everything within its own system.
Well, that's fucking.
But either way, a rocket, like depending on what if you're looking like a military use, or RPGs, a rocket's usually handheld, whereas a missile might be a base system.
Or Little Rocket Man.
Or Little Rocket
Man. That little fucking Rocket Man. He's always sporting his shit.
But of course, then you have multiple launch rocket systems, which is a big system that shoots rockets. But I mean, it's all depending how you do it. Basically, a rocket can be used other than weapons, where missiles primarily used as a weapon.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because you even hear reports someone threw a rocket like a missile, but I mean,
because they make all those homemade rockets.
It's such a deep rabbit hole, but that's not the scariest thing. Since the 1950s, there have been 32 nuclear weapons. Now, remember, this thing that happened in Korea didn't have a payload; it was a test, so there was no nuke head in there. But since the 1950s, there have been 32 nuclear weapon accidents known as broken arrows.
God damn, 32!
And a broken arrow is defined as the unexpected event involving nuclear weapons that result in the accidental launching, firing, detonating, theft, or loss of the weapon.
Just like the fucking movie.
Well, to date, 6 nuclear weapons have been lost and not recovered. Now, the majority did happen at sea.
What the fuck do you mean lost?
Well, I do have a few examples. You want me to get into it?
Let's get into it.
Well, okay. March 10th, 1956. Carrying 2 nuclear capsules on a nonstop flight from MacDill Air Force Base near Tampa, Florida, to an overseas base, a B-47 was reported missing. It failed to make contact with the tanker over the Mediterranean for a second refueling. No trace was ever found of the plane, the crew, or the cargo. Just gone.
God
okay?
Damn.
Another incident, July.
It was never found, like nothing.
Nothing, dude.
No trace
nothing,
at
no
all,
wreckage,
like
nothing.
Country,
Like disappeared. Nothing. Just gone.
Fuck, dude, that's fucking scary.
And that's not taking into account all your subs, all your nuke subs that will sink so deep that they can't be recovered, that have been armed with nuclear weapons.
Oh no shit.
Some can't. I mean, they just can't be recovered. Great Britain, a B-47 bomber crashed into a nuclear weapons storage facility at the Lake Heath Air Base in Suffolk, England, during a training exercise. The nuclear weapons storage facility, known as an igloo, contained 3 Mark VI bombs. After the accident, the exams by the bomb disposal crew said it was a miracle that 1 Mark VI bomb was exposed, detonators sheared, didn't explode. The B-47 crew, unfortunately, was killed. So a plane actually crashed to a place where they stored the nukes, did some damage, sheared one of them off, and nothing went off.
And where was that?
That was in England. A B-47.
Ooh, can you imagine the devastation that would have
Well, speaking of devastation, something happened a little bit closer to home. January 24th, 1961, North Carolina, United States. While on an airborne alert, and that's when planes will actually that's when we had the wall up, they would go around, being ready. They actually had arms. Near the town of Goldsboro, North Carolina, disaster struck early in the morning as 8 servicemen in a nuclear bomber were patrolling the skies near Goldsboro, North Carolina. Now, this was an insurance policy against a surprise attack by the Russians. In case of a threat did happen, the crew would go ahead, bomb Russia, and that get their revenge.
Oh, so that's what it was flying.
Yeah, that's because it would always had you had your alert crews, different time. Remember the Cold War?
Oh yeah,
a lot of people forgot the Cold War is a very real thing, and it probably will be coming back soon. But
all the shit that's going on
in it was a huge B-52G Stratofortress jet, which carried 2 nuclear weapons tucked into the belly of it, right in the bomb bay. And what they had was they had these bombs that were specific. They're called the Mark 39 thermonuclear bomb. Each was about 12 feet long, weighed more than 6,200 pounds, and could detonate with the energy of 3.8 million tons of TNT. Such a blast could kill everyone within a diameter of about 17 miles. That's just the blast. That's not counting the radiation fallout. So what happened while they're flying around?
Wait. How far is the radiation fallout for something like that?
Depending on what the wind carries, some estimates, I'll actually get into the damage that could have been done a little bit later. I'll tell you exactly from North Carolina on the map. I don't have the miles, but it'll give you a better idea. But what happened was there was a fuel leak, which the crew found as they had a refueling plane. Now, as you know, when those big bombers are in the air, they don't land to refuel. They'll actually have a fuel tanker come up.
Oh, yeah, they fuel them in the air.
And as some people like to say, planes having sex. But as they were doing it, they found it was leaking fuel. So the problem with that, they were flying at night, so that was the issue. But also on that particular model of plane, the fuel tanks were in the wings. So, of course, it increased its range, but unfortunately it caused about 60% more stress on those wings. So, as they noticed the fuel leaking out, they reported to their headquarters, and what they did was they ordered the bomber into a holding pattern over the Atlantic Ocean, which he'll wait until it had, because remember, it just refueled, so it was full. Even though it had the leak, it was still a full fuel plane. And
So
jet fuel is combustible, huh?
What was the,
Well, the bombs are still in there. The bombs are still in the plane, and we're going to get to that. Okay, so they're flying over the ocean, trying to burn off fuel so they can get a safe landing. All right. The leak worsened, however, and it soon became apparent that the jet had to land immediately. So, under orders, the crew turned the bomber westward with the intention of landing back at Seymour Johnson, located near Goldsboro, North Carolina. So as the plane's descending to 10,000 feet, approaching the airbase, they're already inland, out of the ocean. The right wing gave out completely, and the plane broke up in midair. So at that point,
It completely broke apart.
The wing broke up. The wing broke off, and then the tail, it lost its tail. So once it lost its tail, it started spinning out of control.
It fucking just did a Batman, The Dark Knight Rises
Well,
shit, right?
most
When they fucking
important,
ripped off
the
that
bomb
back
bay
end.
doors opened. The bomb bay doors opened that had those 2 megaton nuclear bombs. Now, while that's going on, remember, you got 8 people in there. The crew tried to bail out. Of the 8 men on board, 5 survived. One pilot actually had to get out by climbing on top of the B-52 hatch and jumping with his parachute. There was no ejection seat in that particular model. So actually had to open a hatch, and mind you, this is while the plane's spinning up 10,000 miles going down and at 10,000 feet.
And
It's losing, and he jumped, and he's actually the only man ever to pull that stunt off without an ejection seat. The plane itself crashed nose first into tobacco field, and it's a few places away from a Big Daddy Road just outside Goldsboro, North Carolina, about 60 miles east of Raleigh. Just to give you an example, Raleigh's a major city. The bombs separated from the remains of the aircraft and plummeted to ground. Now, the thing is, when they're falling about maybe 700 miles per hour. Now, what happens is one of the bombs actually have when you're actually launching the bomb, it actually has a parachute just over the descent. Now, one of them, the parachute did deploy, indicating that the bomb went through at least part of its arming sequence. Because remember, the bomb isn't armed until once it starts dropping. There's actually a mechanical process that starts arming that thing to go off. So luckily, that parachute opened, the parachute device snagged on the tree, and it was left hanging. So the nose of the bomb maybe went 18 inches buried to the ground. Otherwise, it was completely intact. So no big deal. Safe. The parachute on the other bomb, however, caused it to slam into a swampy, muddy field and break into pieces. Now, fortunately, it landed to a farm, but the only casualty there were chickens. But it landed. It landed so
fucking poor chickens.
Yeah, it landed so hard that the bomb was found 20 feet below the ground on that particular farm.
God damn. Well, 6,000 tons.
Yeah. Now, the thing about that was only a portion of the bomb was able to be recovered. So, due to it was so deep in the ground that there was actually water flooding. So, most of the thermonuclear stage containing the uranium and the plutonium, what makes it deadly, was left in place, but the core of the bomb had been dislodged and was removed. So, since that happened, when that initially happened, the military just said it was an accident, no big deal. What finally came out later, I believe in 2013, was they learned each bomb has to go through 7 steps to actually arm and detonate. This particular bomb went through 6 of those 7 steps.
God damn, that shit would have went off.
It was really close to blowing out. And it's even a quote that was also through the Freedom of Information Act that was clever that Robert McNamara, who at the time was a Secretary of Defense, said, quote, "By the slightest margin of chance, literally, the failure of 2 wires to cross a nuclear explosion was averted." Now, had that device detonated, you're asking how bad the lethal fallout could have been deposited over Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and far as north as New York City. That's the radiation, depending which way the wind blows.
Damn.
Okay? And the thing is, what made it bad about these bombs, each of these bombs it was a thermonuclear design. And what that means is these bombs actually had 2 explosives in them. So it's a 1-2 punch compound.
Damn, can you imagine that? Can you imagine just hearing about that? Like just the same way that 9/11 happened, right? You see it on the news, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? In 1960, well, 63,
61,
right?
61. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so can you imagine just hearing that on the news, nuclear bomb gone off in North Carolina?
Well, and the farmers today, you know what's up with that farm today? Nothing has changed. The area is not marked or fenced. There's actually a little historical marker outside the area, but it's being farmed. The DOD was granted a 4-foot diameter where the bomb actually impacted. It just doesn't allow any type of building of any kind, but farming's still okay.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
all this information was from a book titled "Command and Control: Nuclear Weapons, the Damascus Accident, and the Illusion of Safety." It was released in 2013 by an Eric Schlossweimer. And the great thing about that, it discussed this incident, but there's another incident which I would love to talk about later. It's called the 1980 Damascus Titan missile explosion. However, I want to give you guys a chance because they actually made a documentary on it, and it's on Netflix under the title Command and Control. If you guys can watch it, because that's really scary. That's actually where the missile incident happens when it's a silo. And when I'm talking Damascus, I'm talking Damascus, Arkansas, right here in the U.S. So give you guys a chance to watch it.
It happened in a silo?
Yeah, I want you to watch. It's on Netflix. I want you guys to
I'll
watch
check
it.
it.
It's a short little thing, and dude, it's kind of scary what happened. And then we can talk about it and maybe follow up a show later. But
fuck
that's what
fucking
I found
crazy.
out. That was pretty creepy.
Dude, that is creepy, dude. Just a nuclear fallout is creepy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like fucking three-eyed monkeys and shit.
Well, if you're lucky, like I mean, you got to remember when I was growing up, that was a big thing. The Cold War was a real thing.
Dude, y'all used to hide under their desks like practice.
Well, no, that was in the 50s because I thought that would do something. I mean, if you're lucky, a nuclear explosion, you'll vaporize. It's the radiation poison that'll kill you, man. I mean, if you're on the outskirts, the radiation poisoning, that's what tears you up.
You don't know what's a safe radiation level, Jake? Fuck if I know. Fuck it.
Well, I say when your skin starts melting off, you probably got issues. But but that was a very real thing my time growing up, and a lot of people think it's gone away. It really hasn't. I mean, even at one time,
yeah, look at the buttons.
we did away with certain missiles in the Reagan area. We did do away with certain missiles because I think both Russia and the United States started talking about how it's a deterrent, and in the end, no one would win. However, now you have all these third-party players coming up, North Korea,
Iran,
that want to start threatening. I have a nuke too, and unfortunately,
bigger one.
yeah, but
we're gonna fuck it, dude. They might get one off, but we're gonna crush them. Dude.
But it's like an operation. No, but it's an Operation Spoiled Sport. How are you gonna know you're gonna crush them? So basically, if you were to get a surprise attack, which you can't with the nuclear weapon on them,
You can't.
no. And here's another thing. I found out more stories, which I want to cover in a later podcast. You know how close we came to going to World War III over incidents like geese flying, getting picked up on radar, mistaken
Get
for.
the fuck out.
Yes,
Dude, can you imagine
There's a
getting
lot.
that?
There's a lot
Oh, man.
of stories.
It was just a
There was a
goose.
story, man. I think it was a story. I ran into it. It was about us almost throwing off a nuke in Russia
well,
because we detected something coming from Russia.
there was one actually, one, and I can't remember the man's name. He just passed away this year. It was a Russian guy on guard when the Russians just had their early warning system, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, one day, and on his shift, this guy's doing his shift. A warning goes off, and they have 5 nuclear weapons coming towards Russia.
God damn.
It's a true story, right?
True story. But this dude, long story short, this dude says something wasn't right because why would the U.S. only send 5 nukes? Because this is something, if you're going to commit to, you're going all out. There's no point keeping anything in reserve. You go all out. Luckily, he stayed cool. Cool heads, he stayed cool. Nothing happened. He knew it was a false alarm because it was something to do with clouds. It was reflecting off of low clouds.
Ooh,
You got to remember.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yo.
So this guy,
Right?
back in 1980-something, prevented World War III, and he just passed away last year in 2017. And I remember talking about him because no one knows, but I like to do a little bit more story on him because I believe him. And actually, if you've ever seen the movie K-19, The Widowmaker, about a nuclear leak on a sub, is another thing. But there's a lot of times, not so much us, but a lot of our Russian counterparts kept the cooler head and didn't panic and press that button.
Damn, dude, how close we can come. Like, these are all close calls.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them, dude. There's quite a few.
Especially with the trigger mechanisms for the nuke in
There's
North
quite a few.
Carolina.
That one that went off, and so they didn't know. I mean, they kept that out of
Damn, dude,
the
that's
public
rowdy.
eye for a while until they said, look, this thing went through 6 to 7 steps.
Yeah,
This
no
bad boy was
shit.
like it said, 2 wires away from crossing.
That's some
Boom.
scary shit. Dude, what are you going to do? What the fuck can you
It
do?
was-
There's
it was
nothing
Hat,
you can
right?
do.
You said it was clouds or it was a hat?
No. The the issue with the Russian gentleman was actually something to do with, I believe, with clouds, if I remember correctly. But I'll do a story on that. I'll do another story about follow-ups and how close we came.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Yeah,
because
we should do a whole
and this
fucking-
is where people say they want AI to take over. This is where the human brain
Oh,
said,
fuck
"Wait a minute,
that.
dude. Why are you only sending 5?" I mean, for that guy to think that. I mean, he could have gone to prison, actually. But you know what he said afterwards? He said after he got off shift, he drank a whole bottle of vodka and slept for 12 hours. I don't blame him.
You
Shit, I
shitty
don't blame
fucking
him.
bricks.
That's
That's
fucking Russian though.
Yeah,
No.
she's like,
He had some.
Yeah.
Woo!
Common sense, dude.
Yeah,
He's like,
he
hey.
did.
Yeah, it was.
I think
It-
nowadays, if they would have seen that shit, they would have just fucking.
Yeah.
shit. How do they push the button, brother?
Hey, it's only 5. Wait, what'd that dude tweet? That son of a...
That son of a bitch.
He tweeted me right now.
That motherfucker. Don't be sending me Twitters.
Yeah.
God damn.
So have y'all ever fucking got a burger, right? And wrapped it in a different wrapper?
Fuck no, but I think Ray's about to do that shit because he's talking about giving us McDonald's and Willie D's fucking wrapping.
Willie D's? That's what it's called, Willie D's?
No, I don't know. This is like Willie's.
I was like,
Just tell Lorena
Willie's
if she's working to bring us some burgers.
dick.
Right?
Willie's
Fuck.
dick. What?
So, all right, we're gonna go on to the next topic, and we're gonna talk about fucking Logan Paul, man. Did you guys see that?
Fuck yeah! Subscribe, motherfuckers! That motherfucker's a G, fool. I don't
Right.
think he did anything wrong.
I honestly don't see the big deal about it.
Yeah, I don't fucking see it. I'm gonna fucking buy his merch. At Logan Paul.
You're about the right demographic. You're about the right demographic for it.
I fucking love that motherfucker. That
Between 13 and 16 and a girl.
Yeah. I'm the fucking girl. Logan! Oh my god, Logan! Show me a dead body!
That
That guys
motherfucker-
want to see a dead body?
No, dude, that was his fucking look. They pasted Logan Paul's face on top of those kids from Boys in the Hood. And they're like, "Hey, you want to see a dead body?" They posted it as a fucking Doughboy's face. I could not fucking believe that shit. That
So,
was fucking
hold up,
hilarious.
man. You got this fucking face on you. What the
You do.
fuck
You got like this.
say,
Like you
mother-
got.
No, go ahead. Go put.
You
So,
might get subscribed or what?
No,
No.
go ahead. Look at
so y'all said nothing wrong, right? Nothing wrong.
I mean, you know what?
Ray, you're standing there with the mic in your butt, and you're talking about us being wrong.
That's why you hear me so clearly.
I mean, there were some wrong parts, but man, I mean,
Okay, so what did he do wrong? What do you think he did wrong? Or he should have done different?
Honestly,
I think
don't
I would have
know.
fucking done it too. I mean, it's a huge mistake.
I mean,
would've
even
done it, though.
at that, man.
I think I
Dude,
would've
they
done
get
it.
paid. They get paid to fucking make videos. Was it explicit? Yeah. Should he have done it? Maybe not.
I
But
would have done it. What the fuck? I think we all would have done it.
No.
Because we're stupid. Oh, bullshit.
Here's the thing. No, you did ask. What I would have done, if I would have saw the body, I would have stopped the filming. One, check on the condition of the body, because if the guy just hung himself, you could save him. Air's and everything set in. Still, there's other things. Now, what I think about it is, what I think we're missing in this issue is what he did. He kind of laughed at first, and people were criticizing. But when you come to a situation like that, you don't know how you're going to react.
Yeah.
You've always had like a mixed emotion that you don't mean to come out, especially at a tragic time, and you might laugh or giggle like, "I don't mean that." It happens
yeah,
sometimes.
and
Everybody.
it does. Like you have natural reactions. to
In
it.
short,
You don't know what to do.
he apologized twice, and I think his apology is sincere. I think people should move on because you got to remember, this is a young man who's always been on YouTube. That's his bread and butter. He makes a lot of money off of it, but
He
if-
lost sponsors, man.
yeah,
He
but
lost
but he'll
sponsors,
be all right because the
Dude,
thing is,
he's still fucking growing.
But the
He's
thing
getting
is-
to the 16 million.
the thing is this: if you're that young
Fucking
and if
subscribers.
you've been getting filming your whole life that whole time, you do kind of become disattached from what's right or wrong. Not making that an excuse, but you always got to film your life.
But it's like
Yeah.
it's like growing up.
Who I
right?
blame is YouTube.
What the fuck do you blame us?
No, I blame YouTube because
Oh,
no,
I
no,
thought you said YouTube.
no, because they actually put it as a trending video,
Yeah,
right?
it was number one. Or
And
number
here's
two
my
on
thing.
the
Here's my
trending
thing.
list. Yeah.
That park where it happened in Japan, a lot of people have. There's a lot of YouTube videos. A lot of people have gone there to do paranormal research and just to talk about it itself.
They made a movie about it.
Yeah, and the thing is, the chance of you seeing a body could happen. He happened to see it. He did film it. But my thing is this: YouTube has done far worse to other people, other YouTubers, for far less. And the thing is, they did nothing to this guy because he is their bread and butter winner. He's got like 6 million views that video had at this time, which is probably going to just increase and grow. So yeah, Logan Paul did something, but the way I said, he came out, he apologized, and I'm fine with that. He's a young man, and that is his living. I'm not gonna affect what the man's living.
And you know what? To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I think he forgets that some of the demographic that he attracts is little. Like I would forget.
Yeah, you
I
got to
don't know
remember.
who the fuck listens
the
to
pressure
us,
is you have to film yourself every day. Like I said, I'm not making an excuse for him, but his whole life he's been filming himself, right?
So
And now he's on the YouTube TV shows, the content. So there's a lot riding on him.
Oh yeah.
So the thing is, I don't. To a part, but the thing is, he apologized. You move on from that. Yeah, you learn. The thing is, what YouTube did, they've done a lot worse to other people for a lot less. I think. By saying their hate speech, or like a person named Jordan Peterson for what he talked about. You can see. We'll talk about that offline because that's a big, deep subject. But I'll tell you about that, dude. I think I will like.
That guy that was talking shit too.
To him, he got criticized. My thing is this though: when
he makes drugs and he sells them for a living.
Fucking bitch ass nigga.
Hey, science, bitch.
Oh shit! Sorry.
But my thing is, but that's my thing. That's my thing. So if you disagree with what he did, how does making a video blasting him make you better? By going on social media and doing the same thing, I don't get that. Dude.
That's what they did.
Dude, you're worse than he is.
Yeah, dude, I can see some of the comments because people can be fucking brutal, dude.
My thing is this:
talk about suicide. Oh, it's bad. He shouldn't be doing that, and then you're telling him to do it.
And what's my saying?
You're fucking hypocrite.
But what's my saying? Real friends keep you out of trouble. Where were his friends that were there when he was videoing? Why didn't they stop him and say, "Hey, someone should have said this. Maybe is not such a good idea. Let's not publish this."
Yeah, that's true. And
so,
are they?
Like I said, I'm not making him.
I haven't heard.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to have that common sense. But my thing is, like I said,
but they're all young.
I think it'll be forgotten about. That's why it's good we're talking about it now, because it'll be forgotten about as we go 3 months into the year.
Not even, man. It's probably going
to. He's not hurting. He's not losing subscribers.
He's not. He's gaining them.
Fuck,
it's fucking awesome.
And he's still going to get his money.
Yeah, so I mean, he'll be fine. The thing is, like I said, I would have reacted differently, but
and it did look sincere because you know what? He didn't mention nothing about
and he's not monetizing, so he's not getting money for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's just like,
hey, we all make mistakes, man. My thing is, like I said, if you come on video and calling you, hey, you're trash or this, dude, really, maybe you need to take a step back. Try to see his point of view. Yeah, it was wrong, but it's like one of your kids does something wrong. You don't, hey man.
I mean, you learn as you grow, man.
And he's still a young man. He's a millionaire and a young man, and to me, that's really scary. That's double scary. I can't relate to that at all.
Yeah, so shit, right?
So that's when I try to put myself in my shoes. Like, oh my god, dude. My thing is, I don't have to worry about having a camera on me all the time, trying to do something interesting to keep my audience and to grow my audience. I don't have to do that.
Oh shit! And
well,
then
he does. Anybody in that position does.
He's heading into the 16 minutes.
And he's made millions of dollars off of YouTube because
I'm part of the low game, so if you're hearing this, where's Gucci? Hey, faggot, Logan, please subscribe to the Lovable Losers.
my take.
Motherfucker, I'll subscribe to you, motherfucker.
Subscribe back,
yeah,
bitch.
stay strong, motherfucker. Don't let all these motherfuckers talk shit.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, you shouldn't let nobody get you down. I mean, you fucked up.
But that's the same thing with cyberbullying, dude. You have people that you never met talking about you.
Yeah.
Or me personally, I could give two shits. If I've never met you and you talk about me, I don't care. My only hope is one day I catch you tweeting and you're coming around the corner like, hi.
Hey, bitch.
I'm here, bitch.
Hi.
Remember what you fucking tweeted me?
See, because it's so easy to say something behind a screen before you meet somebody in person. But, that's the side. But that's the world we live in now.
Even at that, dude. To me, like, it just doesn't bother me. Like, you can talk shit to my face, and if you're fucking around, if you're serious, okay, that's different. But if you're fucking around, even if fucking no matter what you say, like, hey man, you got a little dick, I'm like, so.
But
maybe Dick's anonymous, bitch.
It's not anonymous anymore, is it?
No, but you're like,
I'm not high-fiving you. You're supposed to keep that a secret. We're not in the same. No, anyway, you're at this out, right?
It's not a high five if your hands are under the table.
What?
It's not a high five if you're.
So anyway, back to I kind of blame YouTube for not taking.
Well, yeah, we're gonna give.
What about PewDiePie? Remember the PewDiePie incident? All of a sudden,
I don't remember PewDiePie.
The PewDiePie, he was quote unquote labeled a Nazi by an article from a newspaper.
Do you not?
When you saw the video, it was taken out of context, but I'm not going to get into that.
No, look, dude, we live in 2018 right now. If you're accused, you're guilty. There's no innocent until proven guilty no more. It's not. If you're accused, they fucking penalize you for it, man. And then, you know what? If it comes out that it's not true, your life is ruined already. Because that's
it's character assassination. You just need to do something. And not make an excuse for those that are guilty, especially like all the sexual harassment guys that have been caught. And,
you know who fucking did it and who didn't. Like, you know.
And you could say, well, all I did was pinch a butt, and then it goes from pinching a butt to a full-on rape, and that doesn't make an excuse, motherfucker. you're still a
God
piece of
damn,
shit.
that's a
No,
fucking-
honestly, because if you think about it, it can escalate. It can escalate.
It can.
Because if you get away with this, well, then I'll get away with this, and then I become more
And then I'll
powerful.
you feel the power, right?
And then I can
mean,
give you
I
a
don't
job.
know. I've never felt that way. Have y'all? Have y'all ever felt
I
like?
got harassed.
Well, no. I mean, you harass.
Look at the way you're dressed,
No,
though.
but fucking Ray's always
Fucking
talking.
whore. Well, yeah, that's different. I got that on video.
Can't look at the way
We'll
you
talk about it
dress.
after the show.
Well, I mean,
But yeah, man, have you ever felt the need to harass a woman?
No, God, no. I don't really talk to women. You know my thing.
I mean, I have the thoughts. I can't fucking. God damn it, Ray.
what about all them dead hookers in your trunk?
Don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
Yeah, we saw him. You went in to get a fucking rope.
This might be another trending.
Hey, assholes! There's no limit on murder charges. So far, y'all shut up because right now y'all are embarrassing. So we'll edit that out.
We're gonna move it on.
I'll kill you,
Logan
motherfuckers.
Paul.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Nah, but wait. What the fuck? What was the next subject
Sucking dick.
that we had?
I don't know. I did my stuff. I've been carrying the show. That's why my back hurts.
The suicide,
Son of a
Fucking
bitch.
piece of
suicide force. Y'all want to go?
So we're gonna go into Suicide Forest.
I mean, there've been countless YouTube
Yeah.
accounts of it too. Same thing. He
Yeah.
did. You just happen to find a body, and people are saying he went in there to find it. I mean, yeah, but you know, I'm not going to try to
I
think
don't
of
think
something.
he did that.
I don't.
think
My
he
thing is
went
this:
there-
he has to record constantly. That's his job.
That's a
And
bitch.
like I said, you could call him. I'm not going to call him a piece of trash. Made a mistake. I'm moving on. I'm good.
Hey, you know what? I think I heard.
I feel bad for the. And like you said, he apologized to the family of that individual that hung himself. I mean,
I,
it's,
know, I think the
but-
Godfather Rogan was talking about him too the other
but
day.
that is freaky, man. How? Yeah, it is that. I got to hear that then.
Dude, Joe Rogan.
Joe
I think he
Rogan's a
did
man.
touch on it, right?
Yeah, he did. He did. I thought it was fucking funny.
Dude, Rogan's a genius.
Dude,
but-
Rogan's the shit, man.
I love Rogan.
Yeah.
Rogan, if you're listening, subscribe to our channel. That's the Lovable Losers.
Yeah, no,
This
Rogan's
is
the shit.
Snowman
Man.
talking.
He's just got great content, man.
Great guests.
Yeah, great guest. I'm like you.
I remember, dude. I'll
Great
tell you.
breast.
No, I'll tell you. I knew it was a good podcast because there's one podcast I was listening to, and he always has different guests, right? It was a guy who was an expert on coyotes. 2.5
haven't
hours
heard
later,
that episode.
I'm like,
I haven't heard
dude,
it yet.
that is such a good episode because I thought I'm not going to hear that. I'm like, oh well, let me give it a try. Just like boom.
Hey, you'll be surprised. Like some of the badass show, dude. Like another one. Is,
But expand your mind too. It's taking you out of what you're comfortable with. Like, why would I care about coyotes? You're like, man, these.
Yeah, you're
that's
like,
why they're
goddamn.
hard to get rid of. These
No,
creatures
like
are
what
survivors.
was it? The Wolfman, not Wolfman. I'm sorry, Dogman.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that one podcast you showed me, dude? And
Just the
what was it on Lore?
well, the muscle car. It was a muscle car.
Yeah.
And this thing was digging into this. And what got me was, whether you believe the guy or not, his sincerity, because the guy said that's why he started drinking.
Dude, his
lost
voice
his
was
family.
shaking, dude.
Yeah,
his voice was shaking as he was.
And
telling
if
the
that's
story.
acting, that's some damn good acting.
And then they found when he got out of the car, those claw marks on the fucking car, dude. From what he said, his account. We don't know. We weren't fucking there. How are we fucking supposed to know? But anyway, from what his story, his voice was shaky. He lost a lot of shit on it, and he said he found claw marks on a fucking old school muscle car. That's fucking real metal, dude. To be torn a fucking part like that, that's some crazy shit. No, another good show.
Really acid and just
No, dude,
That is another option.
Anthony, it was his voice, and said because of that incident, he realizes it's caused him his drinking and losing his family because he no one would believe him when he told him. That's the thing that got him. No one would believe him. Exactly.
But I'm pretty sure if I said some shit like that, y'all wouldn't believe me.
Nah, you're a liar. That's why I don't believe you.
Fuck you, man. You know? Fucking handsome. You can back me up, motherfucker.
I'm sorry, man. That shit was funny. I didn't have time to back it
No,
up.
but if aliens do kidnap you and try to probe you, I will hold your legs down like, I got him. Go ahead, guys. No, put it in there. For now, put it in there.
Yeah, you put it in there, all right.
Don't fear us. We come in peace. Let me stick this 10-foot pole right. Whoop.
Look at me. Look at
Take
me.
that shit like a champ, nigga.
So is that all you got, sir?
We have nothing else in the spacecraft to put up there. Like, oh, that.
Put the whole spacecraft in my ass.
They're
bitch.
probably like on a whole nother. Like aliens are probably on a whole nother.
This took a
language,
turn, didn't
right?
it? Wow, we really. went
Yeah, it
outside.
really did.
Yo,
Yeah.
so anyway, talking about some fucking turns, right? This motherfucker today, right? We went to Tractor Supply, right? We're driving out there. Right? This motherfucker turns
Why you
around.
gotta bring up this shit
And
on the
this dude
show?
turns around and fucking starts looking at a fucking cow's dick. He goes, "Did you see that fucking cow's dick?"
God,
I'm like,
okay. Let me stop you real quick. Bulls have dicks. Cows have udders. Was it like more than one dick? Was it like 6 dicks at the bottom? That's a cow.
That's not a cow.
You dumb motherfuckers!
I don't know, but I like
I love it.
Dude, that's the fucking right. He goes, "Damn, look at all that cow's dicks."
Guess what? If you suck on them, you will get something. The teats. The teats.
Hey, either way, it comes out white, right?
That's right. Oh my God.
Go Logan Paul.
Cow dick. Let's look at that cow. It's not a cow. It's a bull.
Well, it had baby horns, like his baby dick.
There you go. Oh my God.
No, dude, it's fucking. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me today. I was just swerving everywhere. I wanted to go get a hay bale.
You mean you drive like you usually do?
No, I don't fucking drive like that usually.
This motherfucker-
It's not driving, motherfucker.
Dude, so he was talking about the pizza man, you know? The way he was
Ah,
driving,
yes.
Right, the way he was driving, I said, dude, you're worse than this motherfucker, dude. God damn, man.
God damn.
Oh man. So are we gonna get fucking Willie's or what? Cause I want fucking burgers.
You want a Willie dick?
No, have y'all tried Kenny's burgers?
Yes, I like Kenny's. I like
Kenny's.
Kenny's.
Love Cane's.
Oh, Cane's
The
is
chicken's good too.
Yeah,
I love
dude.
fucking
Oh no,
chicken
their
dick.
sauce, their cane. What do you like, chicken dick?
Hey, man, so did you see that fucking video, Ray? With that fucking kid that fucks that
Ray's
chicken?
fucking Ray's losing his shit right now, man. That chicken
Okay,
dick.
okay, wait. Let me get the chicken dick out of my mind. Now talk a kid, because that's not a good combination, guys.
No,
People get in trouble for that shit.
No, dude, no, check it out, dude. It's been going all over, right? So, fucking Dirty Dick Dave sent us a video, right?
Oh my God,
And
nasty
this motherfucker
motherfucker.
sends it to all of us, right? And it's this fucking kid that puts his dick in the fucking chicken.
Oh yeah, I see. Dude, I don't know where he gets these videos
Guys,
from, dude.
so you never heard the term chicken fucker? In Arkansas, I was like a property. What's
Were
up,
you
chicken
fucking
fucker?
chicken? Would you fucking chicken?
I mean,
Allegedly,
I
asshole. I got cleared, all right? Acquitted. That's just as good as being innocent. Almost.
What's with you and bringing old shit up
Acquitted.
today?
Seriously.
I'm just
He knows that
saying,
shit. That's why I had to leave that state in the
Hey,
first place.
chicken
What?
fucker,
Hey, chicken
Chicken
fucker.
cow
fucker.
dick, fucking whatever the fuck.
Cow
six
dick
dicks.
sucker. There's like 6 dicks. There's 6 dicks in
What
this
do you
cow.
want me to do?
Suck
I
them
need
all.
milk.
Fucking just imagine having them all in his mouth, right?
Dude, y'all are
It's like
sick,
back in my
dude.
college days. Just fucking sucking a whole bunch of dicks.
Well, the joke's on you, buddy. I couldn't make it to college.
Damn, you had a fucked up party, man.
Yeah, I don't know where I was at that day. We're just gonna move on from that.
Whatever.
Hope you got your 3 credits for chucking that cow dick, as you call it.
It's better than fucking over
Dude,
there
it wasn't
eating
even,
chicken
that night
dick.
and a half. Remember that one time we went to go see
Oh, the
one of our
in a
good
funeral
friends.
procession. Here we are driving as the hearse is going to the cemetery. Real solemn moment. We're going. It's you, myself, a friend in the back, and then all of a sudden we see a pony with this huge pony cock. we almost hit the hearse, dude. We almost hit the hearse.
We were fucking crashing a whole bunch of shit, dude. Just
Dude,
looking
what
at a fucking
the
donkey dick
fuck?
or pony dick, whatever.
Dude, my imprint's still on this window because I hit like the sidewalk. Oh, I was like, oh my God.
And motherfucker, if you're listening to this with the other guy that we were with, you better fucking.
And we laughed about it because you know what? The person that we were burying, he would have appreciated that. Like, oh, that's cool.
Rest in peace, Bob Lady.
I know, man.
Dude, what the fuck, dude?
And we laughed about
fucked up
that.
people.
We are some fucked up
That's what
people.
I'm saying,
dude.
like, dude, like, okay, we at a fucking funeral where we were fucking looking at a donkey dick, you know, and laughing.
Because someone goes, look at that! And boom!
Dude, can you imagine if you would have hit the hearse, man?
Dude, but that's what I'm saying, like, everybody's fucking hating on Logan Paul. I mean, look
I can raise
And he did, we did. And they shit on what we got. Like,
I
oh.
know, dude, like.
You
yeah,
just heard the dude hanging? Yeah, we almost fucking hit a hearse and made the body pop out of the casket.
Yeah, I know.
Explain that much as
Fucking
family,
real-
like, yeah.
No shit. Why
We're
did
gonna
you
leave now.
videotape
Dude,
it?
but why they would have been fucking laughing his ass off? Like, fuck, look at they're looking at a pony dick.
Faggots, yeah.
Fucking faggot.
Oh, cheers.
You know?
Cheers to him, man.
But you know what?
Yeah,
It was
Bob and
winter.
Steve.
I gotta say, it was winter.
Bob and Steve,
Bob and
man.
Steve. That was a
Father
big
and
old
son.
pony dick.
Ah.
What the fuck did you say?
That was a big old pony dick. In the winter, it was cold that day, bro.
It was.
I don't know about you, but I have
Dude, when
trinkets.
they're driving right, I'm like.
So it goes
I
from
just
3
see-
to 2.
I just-
Bragging.
Damn,
see
dude,
that
that's
fucking
hardly
pony,
shrinking.
dude.
That's hardly shrinking, man.
Dude, I see that pony right and I'm driving right, and I was like, what the fuck? Dude, hey, check out that pony dick.
I hit my
what
face
the
on this
fuck
window,
is
dude.
that?
Dude,
What the fuck is wrong with y'all,
I
man?
broke his neck.
Dude, you would have looked too. You would have looked too, asshole.
Dude,
Okay, I'm just
I was
saying.
like a hot ass chick
I
with my
wasn't
ass
there.
hanging out, and your boy's like, damn, check out that chick's ass. That's how Ray was with the pony dick. Damn, I hit the window, dude.
That's because the chick's ass does nothing for me. I'm like,
But a pony dick is a fucking big fucking thing.
Wow.
Dude, what?
And us crashing into fucking things, you know?
Good for him. Good for him.
But dude, we could not stop laughing, dude.
I know. I was trying to calm down. Like, get sad, get
I
sad.
know, dude. Like,
Hey man, you know, if this show airs and they hear about the fucking pony dick thing, they're gonna fucking give us a whole bunch of shit, just like Logan Paul.
Fucking Logan Paul, baby.
Hey,
like and subscribe,
fact.
motherfuckers.
Ponies have dicks. Deal with it.
No shit, fucking like what? Who is it? Ben Shapiro? He says
Facts. Yeah, facts don't care about your feelings.
they don't. They
don't.
sure
It's a
fucking
fact,
don't.
motherfucker.
And you know that's where fucking a lot of people get mad. Like when they get angry, it's most of the time it's because you tell them something true that they don't like to hear.
You have the right to not be suppressed. You have the right to state your opinion. But one thing that you don't have the right to is not feel offended. You're always going to be offended. It's how you deal with it.
Well, guys, that's our show for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Signing off with Snowman, Ray, I'm Angel. Good night, everybody.